We now know the identities of the victims of a shooting that left 4 people dead and another in critical condition. The incident happened early yesterday morning in Winnipeg.
The deceased have been identified as Crystal Shannon Beardy, 34 years old. Stephanie Amanda Beardy, 33 years old. Melelek Leseri Lesikel, 29 years old. And Dylan Maxwell Lavalee, 41 years old. Lake St. Martin has lost 2 of their members of their community. They are mourning the loss of sisters, Crystal and Stephanie. We have reached out to the family and leadership to offer community support. The homicide investigators were able to contact Melelek's family in Kenya and the US, and they've been notified of his tragic passing. We've also been in touch with Dylan's family in Winnipeg, who are also reeling from this terrible event. Our hearts go out to these families and the community.
Police are also asking the public for help with their investigation. The CBC's Cameron McIntosh is following the story for us from Winnipeg.
Well, hearing from the chief of police here that this is still early hours and that they are trying to piece this together. Now, the investigation has been going a little more than a day, a little more than 24 hours. They don't have a suspect. The words from Winnipeg Police Chief Danny Smythe really striking to me. We will do everything we can to discover why this happened and who was involved. So really what we're hearing the police here say and what we're hearing from the police of the chief of police here is, yes, they know that we have 4 dead after 5 people were shot. They don't know the circumstances that led up to that. They don't know who's responsible for it. So a big investigation underway here in Winnipeg with a lot of unknowns and a lot of questions. A lot of people in that West Broadway neighborhood that we've been talking to over the course of the last day or so saying that they're very worried, very concerned. Now, to put it bluntly, it is a little bit of a rough part near downtown Winnipeg, but to have something of this scale, it's unsettling. It's unsettling to people that live there. It's unsettling to the community. It's unsettling to the leadership of our community here. We've heard from the mayor of Winnipeg. We've also heard from the premier of Manitoba, both saying that this is absolutely unacceptable and that gun violence and violent crime in Winnipeg needs to be addressed.
Yeah, and Cam, it was really quite telling. I mean, there were lots of questions as to why and how, but no sense of that at all, whether this is gang-related, no sense of any of that. In fact, they're really appealing to the public for help in terms of assisting with any information that the public may have, 24 hours after. I mean, the police chief said it. He said it's, you don't see multiple victim homicides very often. I mean, I'm just trying to scratch my head and think, when was the last time, 4 people had been killed in a mass shooting in Winnipeg? It sure doesn't seem to happen that often at all.
No, it's something of this is a scale of its own. Multiple victim homicides do happen from time to time in this community, but something this size, I don't think many of us can really recall when something like this is played out. Yes, the Winnipeg police are appealing to the public, looking for anyone with information. I know that they've been through the neighborhood. They've been looking for things like doorbell camera video, all that sort of stuff. It's an appeal that they put out yesterday, and we're hearing that same appeal today. So basically, we are hearing from the chief of police that, they really don't know at this point how this transpired, what led up to this. So that urgent call to the public right now for anyone that has seen something or may have heard something, keeping in mind that this happened in the very early hours of Sunday morning. So, right now, a lot of questions for the Winnipeg Police Service. Also hearing from the chief of police that the investigation on the scene could take up to a week. So obviously, a very large-scale investigation underway here in Winnipeg.
The CBC's Cameron McIntosh in Winnipeg.